Why hasn't Nintendo rebooted its famous franchise NES Pro Wrestling? Is it because of Jirard? Hey folks, it's Doug from It's All Doug in Games. Originally, I intended this video to be a Jirard reference-free look at why Nintendo has not yet rebooted NES Pro Wrestling, perhaps one of the finest pro wrestling games ever made. However, in light of my last video, where I realized that I've split my audience in half, and at least 55% of you just can't quit Jirard, we're going to take a look at what NES Pro Wrestling would have looked like if it came out today, cast with today's biggest villain on social media. It's, of course, a fan fiction parody. I hope you'll enjoy. Pro Wrestling for the NES. Our remake delves into the business side of the VWA, the Video Wrestling Alliance, the wrestling promotion that our hero, Fighter Hayabusa, calls home. While only having an active roster of 6 competitors and only running shows in one venue, the VWA nonetheless established a presence on cable TV, and its shows were a staple of Saturday morning cable box button surfing. The climax of our reimagined pro wrestling takes a daring chance by foregoing the traditional wrestling trope of sending folks home happy, instead leaving them disappointed and angry. You see, after fighting courageously through match after match, taking beatings from bigger, stronger, and flashier wrestlers, and well, that was all the other wrestlers in the VWA, Hayabusa perfected one devastating move that never ceased to get the job done, sending his opponents crashing to the mat for a 3 count, the back brain kick. The lone feel-good moment in our pro wrestling story is witnessing Hayabusa finally defeat VWA champ King Slender, and going on to valiantly defend the title against the entire VWA roster, not once, but twice, leaving the fans demanding a new, fresh dream matchup, one that could only come to fruition if the owner and promoter of the VWA could convince rival promotion VWF, the Video Wrestling Federation, to host a dream champion versus champion match. And this was indeed one of those stars all perfectly aligning moments, because the only man manipulative and conniving enough to convince the promoter of the VWF to agree to lend their champion to the VWA with no clear benefit to the VWF, a larger company that stood to gain nothing from the match, was none other than VWA owner Jirard the Weasel McHairyface, the ultimate carny, the man who could sell air conditioners to Eskimos, the man who set up a fake children's hospital in the back of a dilapidated motel to raise money that ultimately went towards paying off the State Athletic Commission to look the other way at the complete lack of ringside doctors or medical staff in the VWA locker room. Jirard was able to convince the powerful but easily manipulated VWF commissioner Jack Dumley to lend his world-famous champion, the Great Puma, to the VWA for an exciting dream match. For several weeks on VWA television, the dream match was hyped, and the VW arena was sold out, a true standing room only night for the big bout. As the other VWA competitors squared off in the opening matches and then excitedly returned to the locker room, anticipating huge envelopes of cash for the night's work given the huge crowd and inflated ticket prices, the competitors began to sense something was very wrong when Jirard was nowhere to be found. Not in his promoter's office, not in the locker rooms, not at the hot dog stand, not mingling with the crowd, and not in the parking lot, where his trademark late model Cadillac was also missing. Concern quickly turned to rage when one by one, the VWA wrestlers and the guest of honor, VWF champion Great Puma, realized that Jirard took all of the cash collected from the sold-out crowd and ran off, never intending to pay anyone, including Great Puma, who was not about to work for free. Puma grabbed Hayabusa's championship belt, declaring it would be melted down for the value of its gold plates if he was not going to be paid as promised, and left the venue. The dream match between Hayabusa and Puma never took place. The fans, upon being told the event was off, rioted and ultimately burned down the VWA arena, and the VWA as a wrestling promotion never held another event. Not on Super Nintendo, not on N64, GameCube, Wii, Wii U. You get the idea. The VWA has never been seen since.